You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
How firm thy friendship. Oh, how
you know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lames. Yeah, you know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. Covered in gray and scarlet, massive, stiff arms to your jaw. We breaking it. We sick of seeing you clowns with the crown. We taking it.
What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boyz, where we're talking about college football with real fans. I'm Devin. That's Melo. How you doing, Melo?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Just shout out to Aunt Chris. I had an awesome time with Dev and Brett out there. Dev is an amazing guy. He's even better in person. He's actually bigger in person. I was a little scared and shocked. I'm not going to lie to you. When I first saw him, I was like, dang, this dude, I was like, you got to leave some of the weights for everybody else in the gym, man. You got to take off for like a couple months. You're not allowed to go.
Yeah, that had me cracking up. You said got Popeye forearms. I was cracking up, dude.
You do.
Yeah.
Like, that's no joke. Even my ex was saying, like, he reminds me of my dad because her dad used to be a professional bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And, like, his forearms are just like his. And I'm like, yeah, I know Popeye.
Bro, hey, Jesus in the weight room saved my life, man. So that's what the heck I do. But, yeah, man, shout out everybody in the chat, dude. It's been a minute. We haven't been on. We planned on doing live shows from the Rose Bowl. It just didn't work out, man. It was way too chaotic there. Too much traffic. The reception was in and out. The one live stream we tried to do, that gave you a little bit of a taste of how chaotic everything was. And it was pretty much chaotic the whole time. So tonight, that's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of just go through our Rose Bowl experience with you. I know that we're a little late to the party. You've probably already talked over this game to death and the Rose Bowl and all that. But, dude, it was such a beautiful game. Why not talk about it again? I mean, that was that's going to go down as probably the most memorable Buckeye game I've ever been to, 100%. And I'm guarantee if you watch it on TV, might be one of the most surprising, outcomes of a game. And it might not be. Maybe you predicted that. Me and Melo kind of did predict it, but still, it was still surprising, man. To look up at the scoreboard and see 34-0 was just, dude, it was amazing. The words can't describe it. But, yeah, man, Cali, dude. So, my first time in California. Roll up there, stayed at a pretty nice hotel. But the day of the Rose Bowl, I'm thinking we're going to leave by 10 a.m. We're going to get there super early so we have time to walk around and see things in the stadium and whatnot. Well, that didn't happen. We didn't sit in our seats till like 1:15, 1:30 local time. Like 30, 45 minutes before kickoff. That's how crowded it was. That's how insane it was. The Rose Bowl is not very good at getting people in there. I mean, we sat in line outside for an hour just to get into the game. It was like a big mob of people. But it was still cool. The atmosphere was cool, man, being around all the different fans and everything. Melo, I wanted to ask before I get into my take on it, what was your opinion of the Oregon fans that you interacted with and that you were around? Now, listen, we got to eliminate what we've been hearing on the internet, eliminate what you see on Twitter and all that. I'm talking about just the game, just the experience there. What's your take?
I thought they were actually pretty cool. I mean, there's a little bit of trash talking, but nothing crazy, nothing insane. It wasn't like a point where I thought, like, this could get out of hand, At the same time, it was fun shooting banner back and forth, especially because I was pretty firm on that we were going to beat them pretty well. So, to me, I thought it was going to be 41-24. So I was not afraid at all. So it was pretty fun. And then we saw the one lone Tennessee guy in the line, full Tennessee wardrobe, went with his Oregon friend. And I was like, oh, that's a bad omen. You guys are definitely losing today. And then they had the Michigan flag that they were carrying around. I was like, man, a whole lot of bad omens, because that's what Tennessee did at College Game Day. They had the Michigan look like a block M that they had. And I was just like, you guys are definitely losing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but overall, I thought the Oregon fans were chill. We had 2 that were in our section that we kept ribbing during the game, which was they took it well. They were cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they did, man. It's kind of the same thing I experienced at Autzen, man. You know, I talked to several of them while I was sitting there in line, and respectful, man, nothing crazy. Good time, man. Like you said, we sit around a couple of them, nothing too crazy. I mean, obviously, when you're watching your team play and something good happens for the other team, which was very rare for them, and they cheer, and it gets under my skin. So at one point in time, I had to yell the score really loud at them because at the end of the second quarter, when they, scored the touchdown, 2-point conversion, they stood up and were cheering. I'm like, it's 34-8. Are you kidding me? What are you cheering for? But I would have cheered too. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Overall, like I said, going into the stadium, super crowded, super chaotic, the whole 9 yards. But we get to our seats, we sit down. The Rose Bowl is absolutely beautiful, man. The mountains, the scenery, all the way around it, absolutely beautiful. The weather was perfect. If you ask me, absolutely perfect for some football. Maybe a little hot for some people's liking when it comes to football. But, Mel, tell me about your experience after seeing the first quarter. What was the score after the first quarter? 17-0?
Yeah, I believe so. Yep.
Yeah, I think it was.
17-0.
We scored 3 times. Let me give a shout out real
Actually,
fast.
yeah, shout them out, but I think it was actually 14-0. I think the field goal came in the second quarter, but early.
Gotcha. Shout out Tierra. Nice to see you in the chat. We're going to get you on here shortly. Buck65, Curse Tony, What Up Tony, Vader, Lisa, C-Dub. We know there's Mark. We know there's a lot of other shows going on right now. This was the only time we could get on here and do this thing. It's been a while. So normally we don't like to go when other shows are going on, but every once in a while we just have to do it. So we appreciate you coming in and tuning in to us. But yeah, Melo, get into that first quarter, man. When we're sitting down and we see, they won the coin toss. We get the ball first, and tell us, what were your feelings from there, dude?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. Even though I was very supremely confident that we are gonna win, I got really nervous right before, especially because we were getting the ball first. I'm more of a defense-minded person in general, so I wanted the defense to go out there first. When JJ took from where we were sitting, where JJ took that catch from behind the line of scrimmage to the house, at first for a second, I thought they tackled him. I was like, all right, well, we got positive yards. And then all of a sudden I saw him still running, and the whole crowd just started jumping up and down and erupting. I was like, oh, I cannot believe we scored that fast. The very first play, though, to G. Scott, we were trying to guess if they were going to pass or run first. Yeah. I was like, oh, they're going to run. They're going to run. And then they opened up with a fake bubble screen, and G ran a wheel route, blocked and release, and he was wide open. And I was like, I cannot believe that we started the game off like this. So it was pretty exciting. I lost my voice for a while. I'm just now getting it back fully. There was a lot of screaming and yelling, a lot of singing. It was just, the atmosphere was electric, to be honest with you.
It really was. It made it unforgettable. Every time something good happened, we're sitting around, everybody got a high five, everybody. It was wild, dude. But, yeah, man, when I saw that first play to G. Scott, that's a play that, Chip Kelly has ran a couple times this year, but he's never ran it like that. You know what I mean? So yeah. It's just Chip Kelly building, right, on his scheme, and he's been in football for so long, and now we're finally starting to see the Chip Kelly that we thought we would see. We're starting to see Chip Kelly mesh with Ryan Day's concepts, and just a beautiful thing. But we're going to dive into that a little deeper here. I just kind of wanted to go quarter by quarter, and we saw the JJ touchdown, and we saw this, was the second one when he was wide open?
Yeah.
Was that the second one? Yeah, that's what I thought, man. And when I saw that we were targeting JJ like that, and I saw the one catch where Will Howard threw it, right, into triple coverage, right, and JJ come up with, even the Oregon defender started cheering like JJ didn't catch it, because I'm sure in his mind he was thinking, oh, there's no way that dude caught that ball. Nope, he freaking caught that thing, dude. But you could see the sideline and everybody like on the team just so pumped up, so just into the game, dialed in. But we're talking about the offensive side of the ball. So when I'm gonna switch to the defense real fast because I saw us score. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. Let's see, because I was not, after watching the Tennessee game, I was not worried about us scoring.
Right.
And then I watched us on defense, right? And I watched us stuff a couple run plays and get after Dylan Gabriel, and I'm like, oh, dude, this could get bad. You know what I mean? This defense
Yeah, especially Duke was even texting us during the game because he wasn't sitting that far from us, but we didn't run into him. But he's like, what I tell you, nothing easy. It's going to be a long day for Dylan.
Oh, so, yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, no doubt. And then watching Jim Knowles' scheme and what he had dialed up the whole time, you know what I mean? And then, dude, before you know it, bro, literally everything kept happening so fast. I feel like every time we touched the ball, we scored like that. Like, especially, I mean, Trey's run down the line, a 66-yard run. That's when I was like, oh, crap, dude, this thing's over.
Yeah.
It's over. And I believe there was 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. I'm serious. Like, I'm pretty sure Will had, like, I forget how many yards of offense in the first quarter. It was like 300, 200 and something.
12 or something like that.
200. Yeah. I was like, dude, this is just insane. I remember I kept looking up at the scoreboard and looking at the stats and our yardage compared to their yardage. And I was just like, dude, this is wild. But I want to ask you a question. When it was 34-8 going into halftime, right? Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's 34-8 with the way or it's 34-0 with the way our defense is playing. They're not going to score. But in my mind, I'm like, well, Oregon can score in chunks. We need to stop them here. We can't let them come down and score and build momentum because, there's only 2 minutes to go when they got the ball back. So what was your thoughts, man, when they were driving down the field like that?
First off, I thought the wide receiver, Trayshawn Holden, on that big, long pass play, I thought he stepped out. I thought the ref threw his hat on the ground. I thought they got away with one. And then when I watched the TV copy, I saw it in the game, but watching the TV copy as well, they were definitely holding that whole drive. So they never gave us any holding calls on that drive. I feel like they shouldn't even score because they should have had penalties and they should have had the punt. But regardless, I mean, there were a lot of people in the stands that are like, oh, man, we can't. They're getting the ball first. We got to come out and stop them because they could get momentum, which rightfully so. That's the type of game that Oregon is, the type of team. I personally didn't feel like they were going to get a whole lot of momentum because our defense was playing with their hair on fire, and they're out there absolutely crushing dudes and hitting people. And when they hit James so many times hard that he had to leave the game, I knew it was a little bit different. You got to think about it. That's the second game a starting running back didn't make it through the first half. So if I'm Texas' starting running back, I might be sweating a little bit before this game because I'm like, these dudes are playing fast and they're hitting hard. And I'm not trying to get hit that hard because they're not just hitting hard. They're taking people out the game. Same thing with Quinn Ewers. He's not that mobile. He's not mobile like Nico or Dylan. And he has a bum ankle. So, like, I like Quinn because to me, he's still a Buckeye. He said the team up north. I think Kirk might have smelled him his gold pants. But I think Quinn's he's gonna have some bruised up ribs this game.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I'm glad you brought something up because I almost forgot about it. But I'll just tell you facts. Go back and rewatch that touchdown throw that Gabriel threw at the end of the second quarter, and you will see an offensive lineman behind Jack Sawyer, and he has him in a headlock. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Go rewatch it. Hit pause. You will see it. It was the most blatant holding that there possibly could be. Jack even threw his arms up like this. Like, I went back and watched that, and it was pretty bad. So honestly, when I say the final score of this game, it really wasn't 41-21. You get to take 8 points off of that thing. So what's that make it? 13. They scored 13 points. So 41-13 is the official Buckeye Boyz Rose Bowl score. That's what we do here. So yeah, man, the defense absolutely played lights out, man. A little bit of an unsung hero. This isn't because I picked him to be the MVP of the game. Maybe not unsung because I've heard a lot of people talk about him. But Tyleik Williams was absolutely destroyed. He was unstoppable on the inside, and the defensive line was doing a bunch of different moves, or what do you call them again? I'm having a brain fart. Stunts. Running a bunch of different stunts, sending our defensive tackles and our defensive ends on the inside of things to eliminate the RPOs and the stretches and different things like that. So, I mean, he played out of his mind, man. But, dude, everybody did. It's seriously hard to sit and think about one player. And the rotations were beautiful too, man. I mean,
finally got everything right. The coaches were locked in. The players were locked in. And this is what you saw, one of my favorite plays, but talking about Tyleik, that was where I first started noticing that they were holding, because Tyleik was beating the guards and the center so bad that it was so blatant. And I wasn't even wearing my glasses. I'm not that. I might as well be legally blind, and I could see him holding. I'm like, dude, they're holding every time. They were holding the heck out of these dudes. But my favorite play, where I knew they were locked in, they did a stunt with the defensive end and Tyleik. And it forced Dylan from being able to roll to his left, so he had to roll to his right because the pockets was collapsing. And Cody Simon was sitting right there waiting for Dylan to roll out and run, and he just came up and sacked him. And that's just brilliant scheming, Yeah. So, that's when I was like, oh, yeah, it's a wrap. There's nothing they can do. We're gonna destroy them.
Yeah,
I really thought at one point when it got to 34-0, I was like, man, I think I was really low on my score prediction.
Yeah, I know.
They might score 60. We were starting to talk about it in the crowd about, can we get our fourth string quarterback back in, just embarrass Dan Lanning some more.
Hey, I'll tell you this. They could have scored more if they wanted to. They started playing that prevent D a little bit more, playing deeper, not so much press. They started running the ball more. Dude, it could have been way worse than what it was, man. But I love this question by Ryan Sims. We've actually answered it already in several shows before, but it's a serious question. Are the last few games proof that Jim has been handcuffed for a while and he is finally able to teach and run his defense? It's not just the last few games. I mean, look at the way the defense has changed after Oregon. Now, you can look at this one of two ways. You can look at it like, dang, Ryan Day, you suck for wanting to take your input on everything, or you can look at it like this, like I choose to. Hats off to you, Ryan Day, for seeing that it's time to get your hands out of there and let Jim Knowles do what Jim Knowles does. And that's what he's done. And I believe that's what Ryan Day has done with the entire team. I think that if you ask me, I want to ask this question to everybody. If we beat Scum, do we see the same Ohio State team that we are seeing right now? Please answer that in the chat. Melo, I want you to answer that too.
That is a phenomenal question. That's a hard question. It's an extremely hard question to answer. That's why it's such a phenomenal question.
Yeah.
I'm going to give my true feelings. I do not think we do. I think the games are closer. And the same thing can be asked about the first time we played Oregon. Does the defense play how it's been playing if we beat Oregon the first time, right?
I mean,
so the adversity, that's the beautiful thing about the 12-team playoff. It allows the team to grow all the way through the process. And since Ohio State is elite enough, they're never going to really lose more than 2 games in a season. So they'll always qualify for the 12-team playoff. But we had 2 clunker games, one that we lost because of our defense performance. So we rectified that. The coaches are very well at self-scouting and making adjustments, especially Ryan Day. That is his that's his best quality, if you ask me, as a coach. And then the second game against the team up north, the offense floundered and the game plan was awful, horrific. Everybody already knows that. We don't need to beat it to death. But because of that, they went to the drawing board. They had 3 weeks. They self-scouted, self-evaluated. They all had a kumbaya moment, which wasn't really peaceful at all. They were going at each other, from the players to the coaches, everybody, just getting it out, which is healthy, especially when you have a strong culture like Ohio State. Now, if this happened at UGA, would they survive it? Probably not. Their culture isn't that strong. So he self-evaluated. He changed it. So that's why I love Ryan Day, because he'll find the problem identify it, and he'll do whatever he has to do to try to fix it. It might take him some time. He might fix it the wrong way, but he's always attempting to do it. And that's all you can ask for. And if those two games didn't happen, I don't think you see this version of this Buckeye team, which is about to go on a historic run and is going to go down as the greatest national championship team of all time.
Yeah, that Blitz says, I think it's the slap in the face that we've been waiting on Ryan Day to get. And I agree. It's unfortunate it took a couple slaps. It took the Oregon game for defense, and it took the Scum game for offense. But it was a slap in the face, man. In that Scum game, I think the beautiful thing, I said it, man. I said it in the several shows that I said that the difference between Oregon and Ohio State this year is the crap that Ohio State has been through already. And they made it out of the other side of it. Oregon has went through nothing. There's no team this year in the nation that has been through what Ohio State has been through. They lost to their rival, right? Number one, they were the most talked about team in the offseason. Everybody kept bringing up the $20 million roster, that Ryan Day, this is his best chance to win an Natty, all that. So they had more pressure than any team in the nation. Then they go out and they lose to Oregon in probably one of the most painful ways you can lose a game. Like, that was painful, man. I was there. That was painful. Then you lose to your rival that's 6-5, that sucks, that cheated you out of wins the last 3 years and won a Natty last year. Like, I feel like when we lost that game, I feel like it was the lowest of the lows, right? Then we go out and do what we're doing here, and we are experiencing the highest of the highs. So if we are, as fans, are experiencing those emotions, imagine what the players are experiencing in the locker room. This is their life. We get to watch the game and continue our lives. You know what I'm saying? No, this is their life. So the emotions we're feeling as fans, they had to deal with that as a team. And what did that do? It can do one of two things. It can make everybody scatter like flies, and we saw a couple of them scatter. Saw a couple of them hit the road right after that lose, literally just two. But, or you can come together, man, and be bonded and open up, and accept that humility, right? Be humbled. Ryan Day got humbled. You know, he got humbled by the game plan. He got humbled by the players having a meeting and getting a lot of stuff off their chest. And he might not have received it in that meeting. He did not, but he received it. You know, a couple days later, he received it, and things are way different. Just go look at the players' interviews, man. They're just different now, bro. It's just different, man. I think this team, as you know, Luke Montgomery said in his thing, that he's been there for 2 years. This is his third year. This is the closest team he's ever been a part of. And I think that's a huge deal, man. We keep talking about the one thing that Ryan Day has never failed at is the culture. That's it. He might have failed at in-game calls, rotations, offense, defense, everything, but he's never failed at building a culture. And ultimately, I think culture's winning us a Natty this year, because any other team in the nation, man, this would have destroyed him, bro. I'm telling. Well, I mean, I can't say that. I'm a homer. I get it, but I'm gonna say it. I think any other team in the nation crumbles and falls, dude. With what Ohio State has been through, like, half the fan base turned against him, bro. Half the fan base said they didn't even want him in the damn playoffs anymore. Like, that's absurd, dude. Right. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And they said, screw that. They said, screw that. We're coming out, we're winning Natty. And they have just been absolutely dominating. I mean, freaking dominating, bro. When they beat Texas, they will tie the record for the most top 10 wins in a single season. And when they beat Notre Dame or Penn State, I picked Notre Dame, but when they beat Notre Dame, when they beat them, it will be the record for the most top 10 wins, right? And just think, after the Scum game, a lot of people were like, oh, no, bro. Nah, bro. You know,
I want to address this real quick, because I got to give you your flowers while you're here. Bucks 4, ever 65. I think throwing first to set up the run has been the difference. So to be honest with you, Devin was the first person I've seen bring it up at any podcast personally. And then we had a huge debate with Brad and I think Duke about this a long time ago, months ago.
We did.
And then after you brought it up, I never even thought about it. Normally I think about stuff like that, but I never even thought about it. But after you presented the case and reasoning, I was like, yeah, Devin's actually 100% right. But I'm glad that they fixed their mistake and they're doing that. You know what else it does? Because our passing game is so prolific that teams are getting down, right? So we're forcing them to be one-dimensional. You're going to have to pass to keep up with us. And with that, where our new defense is, good luck. There's no holes for you to pass on.
Yeah. 8 sacks is what you get when you do that. And Melo, the thing is, I've been a college football fan for a long time, and all I have ever heard from even people that I look up to about football is you got to run to pass. You got to run to pass. And it's never made sense to me, because if running doesn't work, then what are you supposed to do? There's 2 options in football for a reason, running and passing. You know what I'm saying? So it just never made sense to me. It is kind of funny now listening to people that have always said, you got to run it, you got to run it, you got to run it. And now they're like, oh, we love that they're passing to open up the run game. It just cracks me up, dude. But that's just what it is, man. Football is changing. You got to change with the landscape. And more importantly, you got to utilize the strengths of your team. And clearly, J.J. Smith is the strength of this team. And now that does not
Optimus Prime. Hold up. I got correct.
Optimus Prime.
Yeah. He is not human. He's a transformer.
Nah, he's not human, bro. The dude looks like a tight end. I mean, the dude looks like a tight end that runs a 4.3. And let me tell you something. The play that he was wide open was not busted coverage.
Nope.
It was him smoking a safety. Absolutely. Yeah. Smoking a safety. I've heard a couple people say busted coverage. No. I watched that live, bro. I watched him do that little and he knew that the safety, that was the only chance. It didn't matter what the safety did. He was burnt. Doesn't matter if he would have chose the right way or not. It was over for him. JJ had a running start. That safety was standing still. It's over with for you, bro. But even so, you got Emeka Ibuka, the one-handed catch, the best catch of the game. I haven't heard talk about much. That's insane.
Right.
That was a one-handed catch with the defender draped all over him.
And you remember, I missed that live because I forget what I
did too.
Doing. We were talking to each other or something, and I missed it live. And we turned around, and everybody's erupting. He's running into the end zone. I'm like, dang, I missed it.
Yeah, Sean, I remember Texas talking about Wingo is going to be a bit. Okay. Yeah. All right. But yeah, man, like I said, I love where Ohio State's at. I think that this goes to show you, like, one of the best things, one of the best learning tools in life is failure, man. And when you see a team the difference between a team that's gone through no failure and failure is 20 points. 41-21, man. You know what I mean? And it wasn't even that close. Like, you can say 20 points all you want. Nah, Ohio State did what they wanted, when they wanted, to the 13-0 Big Ten champs, the Oregon Quacks. You know what I mean? And that was a good team. It's not that they were a bad team. They were having an off day. No. I ain't trying to hear all that. There was no flu going around. There was no nothing. You got stomped. That's just what it is, man. You got stomped. The officials didn't help us at all.
They definitely didn't help us. They better never say that. But you see this comment from Doug Zilla? That's hilarious. He said he was at the concession stand when Emeka scored that touchdown. Dude, you can't go to the concession stand during the game. You got to wait till halftime or something, brother.
Hey, I literally paid a fan beside me to go get me water from the concession stand.
I was there. He did. It's a true story.
It's like I'm not leaving, bro. Dang, what was I about to say? I'm hearing some discrepancies out there, and it seems like there's a bunch of different opinions on how many Ohio State fans were there versus Oregon fans. I'm going to tell you mine, and then you tell me yours, Melo. I am 100% confident in my prediction, unless I was seeing stuff, but I believe it was 60-40 Oregon. I think there were 60% Oregon fans there and 40% Ohio State fans there. I've seen it flip-flopped. I've seen it 50-50, the whole 9 yards. But what do you think?
I thought it was like 55-45.
Yeah, I mean,
It was definitely Oregon had more people. I mean, they're closer.
I would agree with yours better. Actually, I just chose 60-40 to make a point. But yeah, there wasn't that much of a discrepancy. But you could see the green bleeding into the curves in the stadium a little more than you could see the red, but it didn't make a darn difference. But the
thing is, we were destroying them so much, it might as well have just been 100% Buckeye fans, because that's all you heard in the stadium. They didn't have anything to cheer for until the end of the second quarter.
Oh, dude, even at the end of the second quarter, at halftime, I watched several Oregon fans leave the game. Yeah. There were empty seats, bro. I took a picture. I should have uploaded this stuff, dude, on the pictures I took, man. In the third quarter.
You can upload it for tomorrow.
Yeah, I took a picture. That's what I'll do. I'll upload our videos and our pictures from tomorrow. But yeah, man, with what this team's doing right now, I heard somebody say that Will Howard was the worst quarterback left in the playoffs. Like, you have literally got to be smoking crack to say that. You know what I mean? Like you can't just go off of feelings and emotions. Like, look at the way the dude's been playing. You pull his stats up compared to the rest. He's the best quarterback left in play. All you have in a quarterback is stats. What else do you have? You can't look at their size and be like, oh, no, I don't like him that much. He's not that big or whatever. Like, I get that you can do that, but at some point in time, the thing that you got to go back to, how many wins do they have? And what are their stats? And how are they leading your team? Will Howard checks every single box, right? Minus the loss to Scum. We know every quarterback has their bad game. That wasn't just on him. Trust me. It was not just on him. But, let me, is there an argument there? Or am I being a homer?
Nah, first off, you have to realize what I've realized since we started doing this podcasting thing. A lot of people just are out there for clickbait. They just say crazy stuff because they know it's going to draw attention. They don't care if it's negative or positive because they want the algorithm to show the interaction, whether it's the comments calling you dumb or someone calling you smart or whatever it is. So, like, a lot of that, when Sam Acho said that, I thought, one, either it was clickbait, or two, he was trying to draw attention away from the scandal that he's caught up in and wrapped up in right now. So either way, it was just an ignorant comment, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about Sam Acho. I feel like he's a bozo for that comment. He just made himself look like a bozo. I don't believe he actually believes that, though. I think he was just doing that for click.
Yeah. On a side note, I got to talk to the Buckeye Boyz Mafia about something that's probably going to be pretty sad, because when you're raising a wild raccoon, what happens is when they get so old, they start reverting back to being a wild animal, right? They get a little more aggressive, stuff like that. So Cujo's getting more aggressive to the point where I'm the only one that can handle him. And he still gets aggressive with me because he doesn't live inside with me anymore and all that stuff. So I'm in the middle of deciding what to do with Cujo. I would never just release him. I would take him to a sanctuary if I did anything. I'd probably cry for a week. But when we were gone, Melo, my brother couldn't even get him out of the cage. Cujo wouldn't let him touch him. He just had to stay in his cage the whole time. He was so aggressive. So we might be losing Cujo. I got to pray about it and make a decision. And I want to do what's best for little Cujo. And if he's not going to be a happy raccoon in his cage in the back anymore, then I'll take him somewhere where he is. So I had to tell everybody that. But I'll let you guys know. And if I do that, I'll bring Cujo back in here, and everybody can say the proper goodbyes. But I will be getting another raccoon if that happens, so don't worry. I'll go find another one. I'll find another one.
I know you will.
But, yeah, man. I mean, Denzel Burke. What happened to Denzel Burke? What happened?
One target. Zero yards given up. 0 catches given up. What did he play? He played, 52 snaps or something like that?
Yeah, I forget. But still, just absolute domination. A lot of those sacks, about half of them were covered sacks because nowhere to throw down the field at all. You know what I'm saying? So just complete domination, man. I love it. All the players gelling together. The offensive line came out. And I just got to tell you, man, that, the players obviously haven't changed this year. But I think what we're seeing is the team that we expected to see at the beginning of the year. Yeah. And I'll tell you what I think has changed, and I think everybody will agree with this, is coaching. I think schematically, the offense schematically has changed, and the defense schematically has changed to fully utilize this skill set. And if you think about it, Chip Kelly being new, all the other new coaches that we had, the new transfer portal players that were, starters immediately, sometimes it takes a minute for all that to gel and everybody get to know each other and what to call and what to do this. And I think that those failures that we experienced just sped that process up to the perfect time. But I remember, I forget what game it was, we talked about the momentum. It was definitely before the Scum game, but the momentum that we were building, and it was going to hit at the exact right time. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's happening, dude. But you still got some people out there, man, that, you know, are still upset about that loss that we had that hurts. And I just want to reiterate again that I feel you. It hurts me as well. But for me personally, if I had to pick, I'm picking a win for the national title over a win on them. You know what I mean? If we finish this, if the roles were reversed and we beat them this year but didn't make the playoffs, that would suck.
And you know what? I'm just gonna be honest. I feel bad for anybody that's still hung up on November 30th, because what you're doing is you're about to miss something special. You're not gonna live in the moment and enjoy it. In a year or two from now, or like 5 years from now, and everybody's still talking about this team being one of the greatest teams ever, you're gonna be like, man, I kind of missed out on the moment and being a part of the fan base and enjoying it because I was so angry about November 30th. Like, you guys have to get over that. First off, it's kind of annoying. Some of these podcasts are still talking about, I can't even watch your show and enjoy it anymore because you're so negative. Nobody wants to, this is just a word of advice. Nobody wants to deal with all their life situations and everyday life to go watch your podcast and you be negative. Like, people are going to tune out. So that's just my only suggestion to you. It's not saying don't be real or be a sunshine pumper, but you have to you got to find that balance, because if you're just, your body language is negative, your energy is negative, it's not attractive. Nobody wants to be around it. But back to football, one thing I'm going to do is pat myself on the back. I'm doing it right now. So when we were on the Ohio pod, we were asking about MVPs on defense and on offense and what was going to be the big game changer. I picked Caleb Downs, obviously. I'm biased because I've seen him play in high school. I already know the talent that he has in him. So the reason I'm patting myself on the back is you watch the new – this is the only thing I'm going to give away, because we were going to dive into the schematics and our predictions about the Texas game, but we're going to save that for tomorrow. This is the only thing I will give away. So they went to a cover 2. They're playing it a lot more than they played all season, but they switched it up to where they moved Lathan Ransom out of his normal nickel spot to more of a free safety spot. So he'll have one half of the field, and then Ransom will have another half of the field, and Hancock will have one half of the field. And what they're doing is they're sitting Caleb Downs at 12-yard depth. So what that allows Caleb Downs to do is to basically be a rover where he can help in run support, which he's a lead at, and he can also help in coverage on the back end. So it's with that, it's also taking away quick slants, hitch routes. You can't come across the middle because nothing's there. Previously, they were having either Cody or Sonny dropping and playing the seams, and Caleb playing one half of the field on the hash, and Ransom playing one half of the field on the other half. So that's one of the biggest differences in the defense and why it's working. And like I said, Caleb was going to unlock the full potential of this defense by coming, because he's so versatile. He is literally Ed Reed right now, the light-skinned version of Ed Reed. That's what Caleb Downs is. He could do everything. And because of that, now you're gonna see this. You see how the defense is elevated, especially how they're using them now. So shout out to Jim Knowles for having the foresight to do that. Shout out to the coaching staff to look each other in the eye and in the mirror and listen to players, and to accept criticism constructively, and to actually go ahead and fix it. So that's the one little nugget I'll give away that I was going to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah, and that affected the entire defense. It put Sonny and Cody in positions to utilize their strengths. It put Jack and JT in better positions to utilize their strengths, because they can attack the inside more. Why? Because Cody and Sonny can have the outside more. Why? Because Caleb Downs is in the middle of the field. Caleb Downs and Lathan Ransom, whichever coverage they're in, you know, they're playing cover 1 with the rat running. Caleb Downs is a rat running around, and they're just utilizing the strength of the team. And to be honest with you, it's them safeties back there, dude. Caleb Downs and Latham Ransom, they're ballers, man. They communicate. They change the coverage depending on what they see on the field. Caleb Downs has that freedom. He will change the Jim Knowles makes a call. They get set up in it. They see some changes happen. Caleb Downs will change the coverage. They're trusting these players. They're trusting the work, the practice, the film. They're trusting everything, dude. And all the players trust each other. The brotherhood is actually real. There was always that part of me that just thought that, that's something to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else are you going to say? It's not a brotherhood here, that type of stuff. But no, bro, it's different. It's the real deal, man. Like I said earlier, a team that can go through what they went through and then come out the other side like now and look like the best Ohio State team that has ever played at Ohio State. That's wild, because we've had some darn good teams here, man. And if they finish this out with a natty, there is a very strong argument that this is the best team to ever come through Ohio State. Like, there's no arguing
Ohio State in the history of college football.
Yeah, there's no arguing that there's not at least an argument for that, if you know what I'm saying. So
yeah,
you want to take that, Melo, or you want me to?
You got it.
So, everybody knows Tony, Curse Designs. Him and Sean got their show every Thursday. Tony's, dude, he puts in so much work, kind of behind the scenes and sometimes right up front, that he's the one that does all the thumbnails, all the designing, the whole 9 yards. Buckeye Boyz, when it comes to a YouTube channel, and a business in general, people have to have specific things that they do, and everybody has to be completely dedicated, and everything they do or it just won't grow. Well, me and Melo, Tony, Sean, everybody's dedicated. Everybody knows their roles. They're putting in all their effort, all their heart into the whole 9 yards. It's for you guys, man. We're a fan channel. We want to make this for you. But Tony also owns a business, cursedesigns.com. So if you want anything designed at all, he's very gifted when it comes to designing things. He has his own clothing line, different things like that. Go to cursedesigns.com. Support him, man. Awesome dude. Loves the Buckeyes. An awesome dude just in general, man. He's poured his heart and soul into this channel, and we appreciate the heck out of him. So go support him, man. Hit that up. Get somebody a birthday gift or a late Christmas present or whatever, man. I'm pretty sure he can design whatever you want. So I don't think he can. Yeah. So, yeah.
Ryan says, I'm going to read this one out loud. And leave my brothers in Christ alone. Call them soft because they are saved. I couldn't agree more with you, brother.
I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. I'm saved, and I'm definitely not soft. Maybe I am, but I don't think I
am. Shout out to Yaz. I agree, Yaz. Hit that like button and the subscribe button and the notification bell. It definitely helps us to get out to more people and to help the channel grow.
Yeah, no doubt. Y'all have been awesome, man. We need your help still, though, right? We got to get up. I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers ASAP. Why? Because I want to give away tickets, bro. I want to give away a ticket to every game next year in the playoffs, the whole 9 yards. Like, that's what I want to do, man. So, and we also like feedback. So if you guys, a couple changes will be happening. There's going to be a new show coming to the channel. I guess I'll announce it now. We haven't really talked about too many details on it yet. But we're going to have 2 parents from 2 2025 recruits starting a show here. Daniel Sanchez and Duke Pettijohn. They're going to start their own show here on the Buckeye Boyz. So that's going to be something to tune into for sure, because you want some information about the recruiting process. If you're a parent that's going through the recruiting process and have questions that need answers, there's not really anywhere you can turn for those answers. So they have the heart to try to help kids and parents and lead them in the right direction when it comes to this and make sure the priorities are all ducks are in a row. And if you want to see 2 recruiting processes that are perfect, go look at go look at Devin Sanchez's recruitment and Riley Pettijohn's recruitment. They're smooth as can be. Perfect, man. Everybody gets what they want out of the deal. So excited for that. We're looking to start another show too. We'd like to get a female show going on here on Buckeye Boyz. So we're keeping them eyes and ears open for a couple of female Ohio State fans that would like to get involved with that. But we'll see. We'll see if that happens or not. But then the other thing is every Sunday now, our show will consist of us putting the link to the show in the chat. So that's how our Sunday show will go from here on out. It's going to be ran by y'all. So if you want to come on here, you know, you can turn your camera off and it can just be your voice, or keep your camera on. If it gets to the point where a lot of people are putting, are wanting to come on, they'll have to limit you on your time. So don't get mad at me if I cut you off and say, yo, it's time for you to go. It's just what it is, man. There's a lot of people trying to get on here. So Sunday we got that. So, you know, a couple things are changing. So we'll keep you updated as time goes on. But, Melo, before we shut it out here, I just want to dive quickly into the upcoming game, the Cotton Bowl. We're going to dive into that way more heavily on Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, I'm out of here, man. I'm going to the Cotton Bowl, dude. Me and my little brother, bro, we're going, dude. I'm stoked, man.
Man, I'm so jealous. I wish I could be there, but
dude.
daddy duty, man. This is what happens when you're
I
dad.
know.
I'm an athlete, and there's so many schools that have reached back out to my daughter that are going to be there, like big-time schools. I have to go for sure. The only deal I made with the ex and my daughter is we need to be there before the Cotton Bowl. Otherwise, I'll go in the next day. I'm not missing this game. I'm sorry. At all. I just am not going to miss it. I'm not. So
Yeah.
that was the deal they worked out with me. My daughter's going to not go to school. The ex is not going to go to work, and we're going to hit that road.
Yeah. So it should be a good time, man. My brother, I think I'm kind of like bleeding off on him a little bit because he was actually like texting me during the game saying, dang, dude, the Buckeyes look good. And he's never watched football.
We got a new fan, baby. That's all I'm talking
and now he's going to the dang game with me, bro. I didn't not think in a million years he would go, but he's going, man. So I'm excited about it. But anyway, I just want to just hit a couple things on the surface. Just my quick thoughts real fast. A lot of people get your reservations and you're worried that the Buckeyes have looked so good that like, hey, when's this crash coming, right? That doesn't have to happen. I do not believe it's going to happen whatsoever. The crash has already happened, my G's.
Yes.
It's happened twice, okay?
Yeah.
It's not happening again. Coaches are way too smart for that. The roster is way too talented for that. And I also want to point out, I also got some homework. Before tomorrow's show, I want you to go back and look at Texas's schedule this year. Look at everybody they played. And so you can get set up for the conversations tomorrow correctly, because I think that's what I'm going to base a lot of my conversation, a lot of my points off of, is who they have played and what the outcome of some of their games have been. Like, it's not just Arizona State getting 500 yards of offense on them. But I'll just tell you real fast.
What, Dev? That actually works out perfect because that will tie right into what I want to bring to the table.
Good.
So what I'm bringing and what you're bringing is going to be like, boom.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And like I said, I think Texas is just way outclassed here. I just do. I know they have some NFL talent. The whole 9 yards. They have not vibed well all year. Arizona State put up 500. Arizona State should have won the game. Let's just keep it blunt and real as it gets. Arizona State, that was their game, and they lost it. So
do you think? Let me ask you a question. Do you think like they're not performing as well as people thought they were going to perform because they're too busy worrying about the Lambos that they're going to get?
So, question, man. Hey, I brought up a pretty good point at the beginning of the year of what I thought was going to be the result of the Oregon team. You know, when you're focused on certain things, you don't really build a culture. And a lot of people aren't talking. Nobody's talking bad about Oregon just getting absolutely stomped. That's weird, right? You don't hear anybody like downgrading Lanning. Lanning's a great coach. Oregon's a good football team. That's not what this conversation is about. I'm just trying to make a point that where's that conversation at? What happened to the Ducks? Why is nobody in there being like, yo, what the freaking heck, man? So at least I have my argumentative point now that, hey, when it meant the most, that shoe brand brought you down, dude. You worried about them shoes. You worry about them shoes too much instead of what matters most, and that's playing freaking football. So yeah, Melo, that's a very good point. You know what I'm saying? But you don't know where focus is. But I also got to say this too. Like, Texas is a good enough football team to beat us. They have enough skill and stuff that if the Buckeyes come out and they don't play 10 to up to 80% of what they can do, then there's a chance we lose the game. Like, that's pretty much any dang football. We've seen it enough this year. Like, any team can beat any team, but a lot of crazy things would have to happen in my eyes for us to lose this game. So what's your first quick thoughts, Melo?
My first quick thought is just what Doug Zilla said. It's got to be the shoes, man. It's got to be the shoes. Feel like a Michael Jordan commercial. But no, I agree 100%. I think I'll just be quite frank. This team is very veteran. So many seniors, and then we went and sniped out the right transfer portal guys to fit exactly role, and they had to have a certain mentality and fit culturally. And I believe that they do have the right pieces. I believe that Texas is going to have a hard time scoring. I'm just be honest with you. I think for us, it's going to be pick your number, but for Texas, they're going to have a very difficult time scoring. And I'm ready for the Natty. It's going to be in Atlanta. So, we're going to party it up. Y'all coming to my city. So we're going to turn up. Me, you, B. Moses, Duke, because I'm sure he's going to come. Maybe Brad, whatever. We'll see what happens, but we're going to turn up in Atlanta.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And as for everybody wondering if the team is maybe losing focus or something, I don't think they listen to the outside noise, because if they come out and look like they did against Tennessee, you think they give a dang what people were saying? Because if they would have listened to the fan base or people across the country after that game, they would have lost to Tennessee. That's what most people expected. So they don't give a dang about this outside noise. It's that culture, man. It's that culture in there. They're in the zone. Go listen to their interviews, bro. They don't care about anything but Texas. That's it. They're not thinking about, they don't give a dang about the Rose Bowl. They don't give a dang about beating Tennessee. They don't give a dang about top 10 wins. They don't give a dang about Heisman. They don't give a dang about none of that. The only thing they care about is Texas. They don't even care about what the Natty get. Nah, bro, they don't care. Will Howard said that none of these games mean anything if they don't win the next two. Nothing. They don't mean anything. So that's you want to hear the mentality of the team. That's it. They've done nothing this year so far. So that's the mentality of the team, and I couldn't be more happy to hear that that's the mentality of this team. But Melo, you got any closing thoughts? Chat,
I throw something at you.
Hold on, chat. You got any closing questions? Toss them in there real quick.
So, I don't know if you remember Damian Wilson from the 22 class. He was ready. He silently committed to us, and then he went to UGA. And that's when we didn't have our NIL correct. UGA dropped the bigger bag. He chose UGA. Guess what? Today, he hit the portal. And the UGA insiders are like, watch out for Ohio State. So what's the over-under that he ends up being a Buckeye and wearing scarlet and gray next season? What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you my first feeling is that he went for the bag the first time. I feel like that's what he's chasing now.
You think so? I think he might be chasing development.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Like, this is just my feeling right off rip. I haven't researched it much. I read a little bit about it. I knew he was in the portal. I knew Ohio State was after him. I've heard, I think Texas, Ohio State, and Missouri, I think are the teams that I've heard. But Ohio State's the team. It's either, I've heard one board say Missouri and Ohio State, another board say Texas, Ohio State, common denominator, Ohio State. So we'll see. We're going to find out. If it's development that he's chasing, he's coming to Ohio State. That's all. He's coming to Ohio State. If he's in there because he asked Georgia for more money and they said no, and he's in the portal for money, Ohio State is not going to give him what he wants. Right. They're just not going to do it. So we'll see. If he wants development, it's Ohio State, and that's where he will be. I know Ohio State will take him. You know what I mean? We just lost. Sucks we're losing Mitchell Melton. I got to ask you, man, were you surprised about George Fitzpatrick? I was.
Somewhat, but somewhat not after they got the two tackles. Because clearly you got the two tackles, right? And then you got Luke that's firmly in there. You got Carson Hinsman firmly entrenched. So if you look at that, it would seem like, all right, where am I going to play? And then you got Tegra coming back in Austin Saraville that they were using as a swing player. So if you're Fitzpatrick, you're like, where do I fit here? You know? So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, we lost Sam William Dixon as well. Kind of saw that coming with the class we signed in C.J. Donaldson as well. Sam William Dixon's gone. We did sign a linebacker. I believe it's who Sean brought up in here, Ty Howard. I think it's Bo Jackson. I think he's related to Bo Jackson, maybe his older brother.
Who?
Ty Howard, the linebacker. We signed him. He's a Buckeye.
Oh, he's related to Bo Jackson, the running back in our club?
I think so.
Oh,
Don't quote me on that. He's
That's a new nugget.
He's a big brother to somebody in the 25 class. I could have swore. Yeah, Bo Jackson's older brother. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you, Emily. But yeah, so we're losing. This isn't a secret to anybody. We're going to lose players. We're going to lose more. We're going to lose more. To be honest with you, I thought we would have lost way more up to this point, but the Buckeyes keep tearing it up. So, we'll see. That's college football, man. We're not going to lose any.
Mad at these kids. They need to play, man.
Nah.
They need to play. And it's very hard when you go to a program like the Ohio State University. Every room's stacked with 5 stars. So, I mean, and not all 5 stars in each class are the same. And then you got 5 stars coming behind you. So the writing can be on the wall. And kudos to the coaches that are being honest with these kids, so that way they can make an informed decision. And if you want to stay and do what Kojo Antwi did, or Bryson Rogers did, or Jaden Ballard, mainly not Bryson Rogers, take that away. What Jaden Ballard or Kojo Antwi did, then salute to you. But a lot of these kids want to try to reach their dreams of making it to the league. And if you know you're at a place you're probably never going to start, you have to go. You have to move on. It's not about them hating being a Buckeye. Otherwise, they wouldn't have committed to us in the first place.
Yeah, we lost Patrick Gerd too, which we saw that coming. To be honest with you, I expect another one to go as well. But it's just my feelings. But other than that, I think that's it for me. I don't have any closing thoughts. We'll dive into the Cotton Bowl a little more tomorrow and go from there. Melo, anything else?
Nope, that's it. Thank you for joining us today. Tomorrow we will be dropping our Cotton Bowl content. It's going to be very in-depth. And I think after tomorrow's show, there won't be a doubt out there, whoever watches the show, that we're blowing the doors off of Texas.
Yeah, we got some good stuff to bring to you. I know we were a little short-handed on our shows against the Rose Bowl, but we were too excited to get there, man, so we just got there. But I got a couple days before I leave for the Cotton Bowl, so I'm going to drum up some stuff as well. So it'll be a good show tomorrow, so make sure you tune in, man. But on that note, we appreciate you, love you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, man. On that note, go Buckeyes. OH.
Ayo.